what's going on today, guys? I'm gonna do something that I typically don't do, but I feel like it's worth it. But I'm at lunch right now at work in my truck. So if you guys haven't seen any of my videos, I usually do car stuff or off-roading stuff, but I'm also into video games as well that have to do with cars. So I went through and made a list of cars that I would like to see in Forza Horizon 6. They probably won't put them in there because I know that they are in Japan this time, so I feel like we're going to see a lot more of cars that are native to Japan. So we're probably going to see a lot more, probably Mitsubishi. I think we're going to see a little bit more of, at least I would like to see a little bit more of. Maybe some Hondas, and Toyotas. I think we might see some more. I don't really know what they're going to add in exactly, but I think those are going to be a little bit more added in this time. I'm pretty sure mini trucks, I put that on the list. The mini trucks I think are going to play a part in this because I feel like there's a lot over there. I don't know how they're going to do the roads because I think the roads are a lot narrower, and they also we have to drive on the opposite side. But besides that, I made a list of the cars that I would like to see. You can tell me your thoughts and tell me what you would like to see in Forza Horizon 6 if you play video games. If you don't, that's fine too. But I think they already have a great variety of cars, but I feel like we see the same ones over and over again. But they're still good. I still like them, but I think they need to change it up a bit. So I do have a long list, but we'll get to the cars that have been in previous games that I would like to see come back to Forza Horizon. And that would be the Chevy Vega. I would like to see that come back because I didn't think that was that bad of a car. Maybe you guys didn't like it or whatever. I thought it was cool. The other one so that was in the first. No, that was in the third one, I believe, and then it kind of went to motorsport and kind of just fell off. And then the ones that were in the first Horizon, I think we need to see back, like the Ford Mustang 427. I think that needs to come back to 1970 because that has not been in any other game except for the first one. Same with the 2013 Honda Civic. I feel like that needs to come back because I personally like that body style of Honda, along with the 90s Hondas. Those were cool. Let's see, what do we got? And then another one that I put on here that we saw in the first Forza Horizon and Motorsport, like Ford, whatever, is the Focus SVT. They have been adding a lot of SVTs, like the Mustangs and stuff, but I feel like they need to bring the Focus SVT back because I think that's a cool car. I would like to own one someday because I really think that they're a really nice car. I know that there's a lot of back and forth where those weren't that nice, but I think they're a nice car. I would personally drive one. So those were the ones that I thought should be added back from the first Horizon. And then I added a few trucks in this, so we'll go through the trucks list. I think like the Ford F100 would be a good one, or F-150, either from 96 to 72 with the bump side. I think that would be cool. A lot like a short bed single cab, or even in like the 77, 78, 79 dent side would be cool. I would like to see that, or the 64 to 68 slick side. I think those look incredible. I like them. They were used for multiple things, so I would like to see those, but we probably won't get those. The other truck I put on here was the Chevy S10. I think that would be cool, like the square body version, or even like the late 90s. I think back then they really modified them, and I still think people modify them to this day. And definitely would like to see an older Ford Ranger. I don't care if it's like from the 80s, from the 90s, or whatever. I think the Ford Ranger should be added in, because there is people doing crazy stuff with them, and I think that should be added into the game. So a lot of these are old cars but I did add some Hondas in too. So I know there's a lot of Mustangs that have been added. I would like to see the Fox Body Hatchback added in, because I feel like that's a car that gets underrated. So the hatchback is a Fox Body with a trunk, not the hatchback version. The hatchback version I like a lot, and I feel like a lot of people have those, but the notchbacks, there's very few of them, and a lot of people don't have them, and they're pretty rare. I feel like that should be added in, because Forza does pretty good at adding rare cars in. So I feel like that should be added in. The Chevy Love, I think, should be added in too, because those are decently modified vehicles that people modify all the time. And then I think that was it. But so going through the cars, we're gonna start with probably Dodge or Datsun. We'll start with Datsun. I think there should be more Datsun. The Datsun car is like the only car that we have, the 510 or whatever. I know my dad had a Datsun B210. I think that could be added in, because that was like kind of a hatchback thing. I think that would be cool, but probably not. Then I'm debating on the Datsun 280Z, just because we have the Fairlady Z and it's kind of similar, but I feel like that should just be added in just to give us an extra car for Datsuns. And then Dodge, for Dodge, I feel like there could be a lot. So I think, where did I see that? All right there. I think the Dodge Dart should be added in. The 19, I can't even remember it. I put 19 something on here, and I don't remember what I was gonna write. I think I was gonna look it up actually. I think it was in 1970 something. I think we should add that in, not the new one. I don't want the new one. The new one was in 3, and I thought that was cool, but really I didn't use it as much. I don't think people really used it as much either. But definitely would like to see the older Dodge Dart. And I'm following with Dodge would be Plymouth. So we're gonna go down to Plymouth here. The Plymouth Roadrunner I think should be added in. I know we got Dom's Fast and Furious Roadrunner, which is cool if you paid for that DLC. I did not pay for that DLC because I thought it was a little pricey, and the vehicles that you got I would probably only use all but one, maybe not even. But and then the Plymouth Duster. I don't know if it's a Dodge Duster or Plymouth, so you guys can correct me on that. But definitely the Duster. I think the Duster should be added in because I think that was cool. Any more Dodges? I don't think so. Nope, I think that's it. And then with Chevy, I feel like Chevy made some very good cars back in the day, but you guys can tell me if you guys want to see more Chevys or you just like the amount of Chevys that they have. I feel like Corvettes are just like all over the place. So, but I feel like we need to add more. Not Corvettes. We don't need to add more Corvettes. We need to add more Chevys. So, for Chevy, already went over the Vega. The Chevy Cavalier Z28. It's from like the 80s. I'll probably put a picture up so you guys can see what it looks like. I think that's a cool car. I think it's a rare car too, because I don't think many people really took care of them because there was just so many of them, maybe. But I think that would be cool. I like those from like the 80s. But I'll show a picture up. Chevy Cavalier, and then another Chevy. But maybe that's all I added for Chevy. Oh, the 63 Chevy wagon. Almost forgot. I think we need to add more wagons to the game. It looks like they did try to add wagons into the previous game, but I feel like we need to add a little bit more. So the Chevy wagon, definitely. The 78 Cutlass Cruiser wagon, I feel like should be added in, along with the 85 Cutlass. If you want to go through that route, because Cutlass is also Oldsmobile, which is also Chevy. That's why I put it there. And then the 95 Chevy Capir Classic wagon. I feel like we should put it in too, because that's also a cool car. Wagons in general, I think, are cool, and back in the day, like, you could get a wagon with a V8 in it. So I feel like they're like underrated as well. So all these cars I put on here, I feel like should be shown in Forza because I feel like people have forgotten. And then we'll go to Ford and we'll end on Honda. Or Toyota. Actually, I put a Toyota on here. Okay. With Ford, we went with an hatchback. Went with the trucks. I like the Ford Thunderbird. Like the 88 Thunderbird, because you can get a 5-liter in those. I thought they looked good. I was going to buy one as my first car, but ended up not, because my dad said they were just like terrible with traction and in the winter. So yeah, I like them. I think they're kind of cool, but really any Thunderbird really. But speaking of Thunderbirds, I think we should put the 1966 Thunderbird in, like the first gen Thunderbird, because I think Thunderbird had a lot going at that time, and a lot of people liked them at that time, so I feel like we should show that. Then I was thinking kind of the Galaxy. I'm thinking the Ford Galaxy 500, the Galaxy 500. I did find online a Galaxy 500 Fastback, which I really haven't seen ever. So I think that would be cool to add in, the Fastback Galaxy. And then the Ford Torino, I feel like should be added in because I like those cars too, like the 70s. 1970 Grand Torino, I think would be really cool. I feel like they're underrated as well because not people have them and maybe not as many people appreciate it or they don't think that it's worth anything. So I feel like that should be added in. Definitely the Galaxy, because I feel like the Galaxy 500s are, you know, people are buying them and selling them for like lots of money. And then make sure we went over all the Fords. Oh, before I forget, because I missed it, the Pontiac Fiero. And the only reason why I'm saying the Pontiac Fiero is because I feel like we need something to compete against with the Toyota MR2. That's the only reason why I added that to the list. I feel like we need the Fiero just to compete with the Toyota MR2. It's probably not as good as the MR2, but I definitely think that should be added in. And then, going back to Ford, I think the other car that I think is kind of cool, you guys can say no, but they're getting harder and harder to find. I've tried to find one, and I found a few, but they're very hard to find. The Ford, Jesus, we need more Pontiacs. Ford Probe GT. And Probe GT is kind of cool. It's kind of a little bit bigger than a Dodge Neon, and it's bigger. Yeah, it's bigger than a Dodge Neon. It's two-door. If you got the GT, you got the V6. If you didn't get the GT, you got like a little four-cylinder. They're front-wheel drive. I think they're really cool. I feel like that should be added in because it's a 90s car, basically, or like early 90s, I think. And I like the 90s, the 80s, and everything below, because that's when I was raised in, and plus, like, back then you had Fast and Furious, you had body kits, you had, like, underglow, like, 90s cars were meant to be modified, so I feel like that should be added in as well, just to, I don't know, keep up with the Hondas. But I feel like I went a lot with the Ford. I feel like Ford made a lot of cars, but I also feel like Chevy made a lot of good cars too at the era. So tell me what you think. God dang it. I'm really sorry. I'm like looking on this list and I'm jumping all over the place. But anyways, another Oldsmobile I think should be added in is the 442. 442 I feel needs to be added in there because you get like one Oldsmobile or two Oldsmobiles, and are they that great? No, but you know, at least they add Oldsmobile in. And I think the 442 gets a lot of appreciation, especially for drag racing and car shows. They're showing it off, making it look good. So I feel like that should be added in as well. And then we'll go to Honda real quick. I already said the 13 Honda Civic I wanted to see back. I think the Honda Delso, they're getting harder to find. They look good. They are a two-seater. The only problem is that they're front-wheel drive with a four-cylinder, which honestly I don't really care. It's a little tiny Honda, and you could battle it, race it with a Miata, and it would probably do even better because of handling with front wheel drive and rear wheel drive. But that's up to you guys. If you guys think that. I really think that the Honda Delso should be put in. Like, hands down, not even a question. The other one that I have been kind of looking these online, and I didn't think that they were really cool, but to me, I think they're kind of cool because it's another hatchback, two-door, is the 84 Toyota Celica. So, they made a Celica that was two-door, fastback, hatchback, or whatever you want to call it. Kind of similar to the Fox Body Mustang, but I think it was a little bit longer. And you can find these with the 4-cylinder or the straight 6. And if you find one with a straight 6, it's most likely going to be the Celica Supra. And you just don't, like, you do see them. I think they're really kind of a good car. They look good. They got the flip headlights. So I know a lot of people like those, like the flip headlights on the Miatas and stuff. So I think flip headlights would be cool. So definitely would want to see that added in. But I'm pretty sure that's all I wanted to go over today. But yeah, so those are the vehicles I would like to see. Tell me what you would like to see in the comments below. What cars you want to see in Forza Horizon 6. Man, I'm all over the place. But yeah, so hopefully, I know winter's coming. I'm probably gonna do more videos like this, but differently than doing video. I think it's too hot in the sun. I think that's why it keeps turning off, or my battery's too low. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to give me pointers on how to make videos on video games, leave those pointers down below, because I would like to do that possibly in the wintertime more. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one, and tell me what you guys think, what cars you like to see in Forza Horizon 6 if you play that game, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!